We've got a few people that are still coming in through the waiting room. I'm sorry for the late start today. I was on the TVP call, and we were just doing some AEP, OEP prep stuff and just some updates on some things. So, my apologies that I was running a few minutes behind to get started today. We want to spend the majority of our time today really focused on VanillaSoft and hopefully getting questions answered. I did see Amy Swanson was able to join us as well. And I think Derek Mabry is going to be, or not Derek, Tony Letcher is going to be joining us as well. Derek may be here as well. But Tony has actually been selected as the VanillaSoft ambassador for our territory. And so he's doing some additional trainings and he's on a call this afternoon with our home office team to kind of help navigate through some of the questions and maybe obstacles. I will say I've been very impressed with Tony along the way too, as he has really implemented the system well personally and with his staff and figured a lot of things out. So I think Tony's going to be here. Tony, are you on yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see it. So I figured it might be good for you just to actually, before we go there, I just want to remind everybody about our territory event on Friday and just give you some quick logistics. We're in St. Joe, Michigan at Harbor Shores. That's the big, nice hotel right on the river there. Our event is going to start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I'd like to start on time. We have a lot of content to cover, a lot of additional intel to give you. We've got some guest speakers that are going to be speaking, and we're going to run from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. For that event. And then we're going to have a lunch event to follow. So I'd ask and encourage you to stick around afterwards. It'll be an opportunity to talk to some other agents, cross-pollinate, share best practices, maybe review some of the information that we covered during the meeting. So I think it's a very important meeting. I will be working to broadcast live, but it's not perfect when I'm broadcasting live. So I would really encourage you. This is one event that we want you to be there. If for some reason you didn't RSVP, I don't know why you didn't, because we sent out a lot of reminders. But if you didn't RSVP and you would really like to attend, please reach out to Megan Smith. We had a couple of spots still open. This is an event where we are paying per head for agents to be there. Plus, we're hosting a lunch event. So there is a pretty significant cost that I'm incurring. So two things. Please RSVP. Let us know. We have submitted the final head count, but we had a couple of extra spots. And then if you have already RSVP'd, please do everything you can to get there. I understand life happens and people get sick and things like that, but please do everything you can to get there because we are paying a significant amount per head to pull this event off. I'm excited to see you. You're going to hear from all your leaders. Dan Garrison is going to be joining us as well with kind of a pre-AEP launch message. So that'll be really good too. So we're about 5 weeks into our VanillaSoft launch. I think that Health Markets and VanillaSoft's partnership together, we've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. But there's still obstacles that we're working through and questions that are coming up. Tony, I wanted to give you an opportunity maybe just to touch a little bit. I don't want to totally share your whole message for Friday, but I know you were selected as our ambassador for the territory when it comes to VanillaSoft. Do you maybe want to give everybody just a little bit of context about what that role is and kind of what you're doing and where you might be able to help?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like the middle guy between you guys and VanillaSoft and Health Markets. So I do want to say my role is not for you guys to complain to me about all these changes we need to make about how it's not doing what the old system's doing. That's not my role. My role is to teach you how to use the system the way it's made to be used. Okay. We know there's issues. There's a lot of things that we're still working on. We know that. Okay. But if you use the system the way it's meant to be used and not try to make the system work like the old system for the veterans, you will learn to love it. Okay. Trust me. So when you guys are having problems, error messages, something's not working the way it's supposed to work in the system, text me, email me, call me. I will love to help you. If you're a brand new agent, you're trying to get things set up, get a hold of me. If we need to do a Zoom, if you want to come to my office and I can show you some things or have you work with somebody from my staff, I'm here to teach you guys how to use the system, basically.
And I appreciate you taking on this role. I know this is a lot of extra work on your part, and but I know you have been an advocate for the change. You've seen a lot of the positives. I'll tell you from my vantage point, I'm seeing the end result of what the system will be. I think for most of you who are newer agents, working leads and doing that. It's working very, very well. And many of you have been very, very complimentary of how quickly it serves up the next best activity to you and allows you to just crank at a level maybe you couldn't crank at in our previous CRM system. I think the obstacles that we're seeing right now are mostly with veteran agents who had a large book of business or a ton of contacts in the system. That those are the things that we're still working through and navigating through on some of that. So I am very thankful. Amy Swanson, who's one of our advocates and one of our support staff members, who's really been helping with this. Amy's been awesome in getting questions answered and things, but she was able to join us today. So, Amy, thank you for being here. What I wondered is maybe if you could take just a couple of minutes and give the team any updates that you're aware of. I know we did some things in the last 24 to 48 hours with the DNC piece of things. What updates can you share with us kind of before we jump into Q&A?
Sure. So I think the biggest piece for all of you is going to be that DNC piece. So from now on, you shouldn't have every call blocked by DNC. What should happen is if you have a contact that is located in Florida or Maryland, you'll get a warning box pop up and it's going to tell you that you're only allowed to make 3 calls within a 24-hour period because that's their state guidelines. That warning box will pop up. You can just hit continue and continue to make your call or whatever you're going to do. But just remember that it will gray out that number if you make more than 3 calls to that contact within that 24 hours. But on every other state where the DNC rules are a lot looser, those will be available to you. Every call will not be blocked any longer. If you encounter any issues or you notice when it pops up, it says, I know last night when we did some testing, Florida and Maryland have the same message and it says Florida and Maryland, but it means the same thing. They're going to work on that in the back end, but they just wanted to roll this out last night. If you encounter any issues when you're working through calls today and you notice it's not working as I just said it should, please let Tony know, and then I'm going to ask for their feedback later on. So please, if you can, provide any feedback on how it's working, let us know.
And that
Also,
I was
some
just going to
other
say, Amy, real quick, that should really impact calling. That doesn't have anything to do with emailing, correct? The D
correct,
just for call outbound phone dials and text.
right, correct,
Okay.
correct. Anything with that phone number being used.
Okay.
Also, we are currently right now working. VanillaSoft is helping me change the signature line. I think Silas, this is one of yours. I'm not sure. To include your phone number. We had to remove the address because we don't have a set of emails for sales and sales leaders to use, and another set for sub agents to use, and another set for assistants to use. So, to kind of like mitigate that issue, we just removed the address. We're going in there today because we heard from you guys that you'd want the phone number to be in there. So, we're going to add that back in. That will be added in. Hopefully, we'll have it done today. And then VanillaSoft has to do what they call a propagate. So that usually runs on their side for a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most, and then you'll see it visible to you later this afternoon. Also, we're going to be adding, and I'm going to try to get those out there as well today so that you can use them by tomorrow, a series of blank email templates. Those email templates will allow you to create your own email campaign for the upcoming OEP, AEP, if that's what you'd like to do. Some of the things that we're doing to further assist you in your book of business, I know a lot of you have asked about those corporate email campaigns that used to go out. We're working on rebuilding those through VanillaSoft. So we're looking at birthdays and maybe the AEP and the OEP to go out within the next week or so. So that's what we're doing on our side to kind of help put those back in play. And then we'll expand upon those as we go along. But those are really key to your business today. So that's what we're working on.
And one thought I have on that, Amy, is it might be nice to have that as an opt-in or opt-out, like toggle in, toggle off.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. I do think some other agents, some of our agents have, built or set up other systems or sending
Right.
things.
And it would bypass anyone who has a campaign already set up
Right.
using those templates. So it would bypass those.
Okay. Yeah, if we can opt out of it, I think some agents would want to do that.
Yep.
So what is there, just so we're setting the right expectations moving forward. I understand that as far as new development of new tools and resources, we're maybe pausing that or suspending that, starting with
Yep.
AEP. But I don't know. Do you want to give us any context on like what the plan is over the next?
So we won't be adding any new things, only things that are going to help your business in this busy time. We won't be like creating a whole new like section of business that you had to be trained on or learn how to navigate. We won't be doing that. We'll be making minor enhancements to get you through this busy time. So like those blank email templates for those of you who want to send out your own customized campaign during OEP and AEP, that will be available. Those are the types of things we'll be working on. Once we get through OEP and AEP, I know a lot of you who have already have had your business on a different system and you're not real comfortable and you're going to continue using that system through this busy time. We get that. It's okay. Well, our focus right now is really getting those new agents up and running on this system because they're going to really benefit from being on this system because they don't know any different, and it's going to work for them to keep them busy and get them engaged in contacts and making those calls and doing that work, setting really good foundation for them to be successful. But for you guys who are kind of taking that time to really, maybe I'm going to dabble a little in VanillaSoft, but still keep doing what I was doing. We understand that's going to happen. And if you guys, by the time OEP and AEP are ready to further join, we'll look at more trainings and more enhancements after the busy season.
Okay. That's great. Are there any other like hot topics or issues that you've seen coming up pretty regularly that you think we need to address before we just jump into some Q&A?
I think one of the big topics seems to be that bulk email campaign. And so if you are going to use the bulk email campaign, one of the key things you need to know first is that you already have to have a campaign set up. So if you don't have a campaign but you want a bulk email, you're going to have to set up a campaign. And I would guess, Tony, you can attest to this. It's not difficult to set up. It's a couple of steps.
Okay, that's good context and good intel. The other thing that I would just always reference too is I think VanillaSoft and our home office team have done a great job with the video content that we put out there in the training videos. So I'm getting some questions, not a lot, but some questions where agents are coming to me with something and I'm like, it's obvious you haven't watched any of the videos. Like you haven't done any due diligence yet. So I would tell every agent who's struggling with anything, please go check the videos first. And if you don't get your answer in the videos, then escalate them to Tony or myself, and we can work on getting answers to those questions. We just don't want to spin our wheels on the same questions over and over. So,
And that's a good point. We're constantly adding new content to those videos. So the more we hear issues coming up or problems that are consistent across the board, we're creating videos for those and adding those to the existing ones out there. So there's always new content being added. And if there's something that Tony and Silas see that are a common thread that's a problem, we can create a video for that and have that put out there.
Right. So just use your resources, guys. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to use our chat box again. I think this is the most effective way of addressing questions. So if you guys wouldn't mind putting your questions into the chat box, and I can just kind of work my way down through these. I'm trying to kind of document some things along the way too, so that we can have some additional information to push out to the team. But Amy, so Michelle asked, are there any limitations to the number of recipients for the emails or the templates? So I don't know if you can answer that or not.
The number, oh, so like restrictions as far as like Gmail campaign, how many go out per day? Is that what you're asking? I'm assuming.
She says any limitations. So I think the answer is no, not necessarily, but it does kind of.
Well, there is a limit, just as Google had a limit. VanillaSoft, Google's limit is 150 per day. VanillaSoft limit is 250. But if you do a bulk email campaign and you set it up, you can set it up with all the people you want. Just know that it's going to go out on a staggered mailing, just like it would in any kind of system, contact system. It's going to go out gradually.
So it's not going to send out more than 250 a day.
Correct.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't want you to be stopped, or flagged from your Gmail account. So we have a limit in place so it won't do that, but it's a greater limit that you have in just regular Gmail.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to keep it from being spam, basically. So
Correct.
one thing to remember is if you're sending out 1,000, you have to remember it's going to take you a minimum of 4 days to get that out to everybody. So if it's a date you need to have it out for people, just think about that ahead of time so you're not sending out too late.
Right. It's going to be a time sensitive thing.
And Lauren Christie said, when are the email templates available? She was on a call. So I think you said tomorrow that the email template should be
I'm
available.
hoping we'll get them out there tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. By the end of the week, we'll have them out there for sure.
And with those email templates, basically what that'll do is it'll be a blank template where an agent can put in the content that they want, and then they can send that email one-off to a consumer through VanillaSoft, or they can use that template in some sort of a campaign. Is that correct?
Right. So there'll be a series of blank templates. So you'll create one, like 1 through 5. So you'll have a series that you can build a campaign on. So you can customize them however you'd like.
And we could also build out templates then for like one-off situations where we're always sending this one thing to a client. We could build that and just use it, have it in our queue to be sent whenever we need basis, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's great. So next question. So Holtzy says, question, when I book an appointment in person, will we still have to type in the location?
I thought it defaulted to that.
Yeah, I believe you still type in. So if it's other than like a phone or something, yes, it's still you type in where it's going to be at, and it is showing up on their end now. But I think the city in the state's not showing up. So like with my office, it's just showing 1736 East Day Road, Suite 400, which I'm fine with because they know it's in Indiana. They know what city they're going to. So the full address isn't showing up, but yet the address is actually showing up now when they get the email because we were testing that last week. But yes, there's no drop down menu,
No.
which what I'm fine with for right now. I'm just glad it's showing up with their address.
Right. Agreed. And I will say, as I booked some appointments this last week, the templates that are going out seem very accurate. They seem very professional. They're simple, easy, reminders for the client. So I think we've got that really, really dialed in. So Christy asked about running birthday and T65 lists. So, and I maybe have something to add on to this. I was using the inelective routing filters, but when I run like current customers all, it only brings back like 9 records. Or if I say all records turning 65 the next month, 9 months, it only brings back two records. So I think agents have questions about those pre-canned inelective routing filters and if they're if there's a problem with them or if there's some reason they're not working appropriately or something else that we're doing wrong on that.
Tony, have you used yours?
Um, I know we were messing with it last week, and I have not touched base with Melissa to see what she was going to compare the numbers, because they were working, I did notice, but I don't know
Yeah.
how accurate it was. I have to get back to you on that one
I
and
just
see.
wondered if you could walk them through the steps since you
Well,
are
I
their
think everybody knows how, I
ambassador.
think it's working. It's just not accurate. So
Right.
they know how to use it, but it's for some reason there's a small handful of people that it's not pulling up because I've had that from several people. For some reason, they're
If
just not
you
pulling
can
up.
send examples to Tony, he can share
Yep,
them with me, and then I will have the team look at that.
Okay. That's great. And I'm capturing some of this too, Tony, so I can send you the notes after today
perfect.
if we actually need to follow up. So Mariah asked, how do we cancel a face-to-face appointment? I canceled one and it still shows up on my calendar.
So, this is a great question. So, in order to cancel an appointment, you will go into that contact and then schedule an appointment for the correct time. What that will do is override the incorrect appointment, and you'll see it in your activity history, but it won't be a valid appointment. The most recent appointment will be the valid appointment.
Does that then cancel the old appointment on the calendar for the
Yeah,
agent?
it overrides it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the simple thing in what Amy's saying is in order to get rid of a result, you have to add a new result.
Correct.
The system's always looking at the last result you put in. So you need to go in and
But
result it another
there's
direction.
not there's not a new result. I don't have a rescheduled appointment with that person. I don't have a no sale with that person. I don't have a
So
sale with that person. Like
what's your plan with them, Mariah? Are you going to try to reschedule it or follow up with them or what's your plan?
at this time, the appointment just needs to be canceled, and we're just gonna have to figure it out in the future.
Like as an example, you could do like follow up in a week, and then you put in the notes, canceled appointment, see if we can get them rescheduled, or you just put, close, you could, I mean, there's a million, any result, just put in there
You
what
could
you're
put
going to do with them.
customer care or whatever, customer
Right,
follow
customer
up.
care,
So
just
I just have to keep following up. Like, what if this person, like, it's a potential retiree? Let's say they decide not to retire from their
yep.
job. I just have to keep following up with them every week. I can't just cancel
You
the.
can do 30 days, you can do six. I mean, like the longest I think is 30 days unless you reset your filters. I mean, you could do a cold lead. Like a lot of my clients that are like that, where they're 3, 4, 5 years out, I'll just put them in as a cold lead and I put in the notes, canceled appointment, gonna retire in the next 2 or 3 years. And they're at the bottom of the list. And then,
Couldn't
and then
she
they won't
just
pull
do
back up
a
on your system.
couldn't she just do a customer touch that touch or whatever it is?
You could do that as well. It's all your preference on how you want the system to work.
What
And this
is
is what me and Silas kind of talked about this morning. With our old system, it was a bubble system where we worked them through the bubbles, right? And our mission was to get them from bubble A to bubble Z. And when you closed the deal, our old system did absolutely nothing with them besides some campaigns on them, and that was really about it. But it really wasn't working those leads anymore, okay? The new system takes that room full of people and actually puts them in order. They're in a line like at the amusement park and your system's deciphering who's more important over another person. And sometimes they move based on certain criteria. So, in order for the system to work correctly, you have to use the system and result everybody as you're using them. And what you're going to find out, and I've been seeing now that I've been using it with everybody, is it's starting to put people in lines and reminding me to do things that I need to do. Um, and you'll learn like the follow up one day is what I use probably the most for people that I need to talk to in the next day or two, and it's pulling those people to the top of the line every time. To where I'll have 7 people, and then the key with that is to make sure you use the note system. As long as you're using the note system, when it pulls them up, you're not going to go, well, why are they here? I can look right at my notes and go, oh shoot, I need to submit their Part B paperwork. I'm waiting on their employer form. I need to call them and get that form. This is why we don't need a taskbar with tasks. The system's going to do that for us, but we have to use it correctly. We can't just let people sit in the system because the system's not going to know what to do with them. The old system, trust me, we were horrible where we'd have people that we wouldn't close out. We had people cancel, and then we never knew what the world was going on with them. So the key is every day get on there and work. If we have people that canceled or we sold, we got to work the system correctly. And what you will learn is it works very efficiently with the AI technology to where you're just going to pull people up and go, oh my gosh, I almost forgot about this person. You won't forget if you use it correctly.
And I think the big thing is for most agents is you've got to get in there and work your queue and just start like, what is it serving
Correct.
up to you? What is showing up on your screen? Because that's the next best record. And there's some reason that that got prioritized above everything else. Now, I will say, as we began working through it, there were some that were a little bit off, and we'd say, okay, we'd kick the can down the road on that one and just say, call back in a week. We'll deal with that down the road so we could get to the next one. So you can kind of filter through it too if it's one that you don't want to call or you shouldn't don't feel like you need to be calling, disposition it accordingly, and then it'll realign them in the proper order, kind of behind you. So Stacy asked, can we please put date of birth when we look at the household contacts? I have to click into each person to figure out who is the husband or wife of the person calling because they have multiple kids.
Yes, if you would put that in the suggestion form, the chat form on VanillaSoft, that would be helpful.
Yep, I've got it. I logged it. So we'll
Okay.
get that over to Tony as a suggestion. Uh, so Kevin asked about the sub-agent. He said he was in the process of converting his assistant to a sub-agent. I understand that the sub-agent program was suspended by regulators. Do we have any intel on that? I think it's open back up. I think we're moving people into the sub-agent channel regularly now, right? Amy, do you have any other intel on that?
That is I don't have anything different from that. So
Yeah, Kevin, there was a short window where, and it wasn't suspended by regulators. That's not accurate. It was just that we were changing the sub-agent contract,
Right.
changing some verbiage inside of the contract. And so there was like a 7-day window where they suspended, or maybe a 14-day window where they suspended all new sub-agents coming in. So you should be able to submit paperwork. I think that'd be for Kim, and should process that. So go ahead and resubmit it to the sub-agent or the agent assistant. If you need the email address, let me know. I don't know it off the top of my head. So Ryan Piast asked about any new updates on the VS calendar issue for November onward. And I think this has been an ongoing question that we haven't maybe gotten the clarity that we want or need on it yet, Amy. But
So I think there's a couple of things happening with the calendar appointments. And Tony, I think maybe you can help me attest to this. But so from November 2nd onward, VanillaSoft is aware there's a time change already. So it's already programmed in. So it automatically is going to schedule those appointments from November 2nd forward in the correct time for what it will be then. That's one. The other thing is when you go to schedule an appointment, I don't know if you've noticed, but you have an opportunity. What pops up is going to be your customer's time zone as well as your time zone. So if you don't match those, it's going to show your customer's time zone on your calendar. Tony, have you worked through this?
Yeah, this is an issue I got on Friday, and I started messing with it a little bit. So the only question that I got that was making sense I didn't think about, Amy, was if we have it linked to like a Calendly system, so they're going on and they're booking their own appointments, and they're looking in November and it shows it's a 10 when it should be a 9 or 11 depending on your time zone, and they go to book an appointment in November, could we have double appointments booked on the wrong time because of the time
Should
change?
sync whatever calendar that is synced with, it should sync over to your VanillaSoft calendar at the correct
Okay.
time.
So it should so on the back end it shouldn't be a problem. The system's recognizing
Correct.
that. Okay,
Right.
that's what I thought, and I was going to bring that up in our call today at 1. I
Yeah.
assumed that was the case because I remember that coming up before, but I wasn't 100% sure. So hopefully that
Yep.
answers some questions. And
And I
until
don't
we,
like to talk about those other systems, but
Yeah.
yes, it will.
yeah.
It
So
will
until we
see.
see something otherwise that proves us wrong, I think we just have to make the assumption, hopefully that in November, we're going to be good to go with
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And I'll test
I
that because I
also
should be able
did
to test
put
it.
a video out there on this because I know like sometimes that customers time zone and putting that on the calendar confuses people as well. So there is a video in the learning library for that.
Correct. Yep.
So even though the time change hasn't happened and appointments may be showing up in the incorrect time block right now, if we were to look at it, that's okay. Even if somebody's going to book over the top of that or book around that in our, like, as a consumer coming in, that's going to all reconcile, you think?
Yeah, it's programmed to, so it should be fine. Moving forward, it all syncs together. It's just that VanillaSoft plans for that time zone occurrence ahead of time, and I don't think that's something we're used to seeing, right?
Right.
Not working that way. It really isn't. I can double book right now for it. So I have facts. I took screenshots a billion times. I think it's being ignored for whatever. I don't know what the deal is, but it is double booking at the moment.
Ryan, is there any way that you could like open up a Zoom meeting, hit record, and just record and show us what's going on and how you're able to double book so that we have an example? Would that be helpful, Amy?
Yeah, that's the only way I can learn from that. Yeah, and I'll show that to the team.
And I'm going to test it myself too.
Yeah. I will say I still have like some gray area in my mind around all of that. It's confusing on how it works. And so
Yeah, and it's different.
but I do think we got to make sure we've got that right. So Sherry asked, when should applications and policies actually show up in the system once they're sold? Like, and it would be either in, Quote Connect, Health Sherpa, or Connecture. How soon should that feed be coming over?
Well, the feed is we're sending files daily between VanillaSoft and Health Markets. So there's probably like a 24-hour lag because VanillaSoft, we're feeding a file to VanillaSoft every evening, and then VanillaSoft is loading that. So the following day you should see it. So I would say 48-hour period, it should be in the system.
Okay. So if it's more than 48 hours, there may be a problem.
Yeah, I would say if that's, yeah, and I'd have to have them look at the CSV file to see what the issue was. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Stacy says we can't search by preferred name. So when a client calls and says, this is Judy, blah, 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 can't understand what her last name is, I can just quickly look at all the Judys and find which one is the correct one. Happens all the time. So I guess my thought on that, Stacy, would be I don't know if I'd be searching by preferred name. I'd probably be searching by phone number or last four digits of the phone number, like something that's much more identifiable and unique to that person. Um, is that helpful? Okay. Oh, and then Tony or Amy, is there something else there that you have for that one?
No.
Okay. Okay, and then Ryan asked again, are we going to get the date of birth for all household members listed on the household tab instead of having to click around to get every date of birth? I think that was already brought up, and we will escalate that. I'll make sure that gets added here as well.
And I would ask you to put that on a suggestion form with the drop form within VanillaSoft, because that goes straight to the VanillaSoft team, and then they go ahead and read those every single night and look at those to make those enhancements.
Okay. And I think Mariah is going back maybe to our question around rescheduling her appointment. So if it's canceled, you just need to result over the top of that to cancel it, right?
Right.
That's kind of, yeah. Yeah, and Michelle says if you want to use custom touch, I believe it asks if you want to override. I don't know about that. Is there an override functionality when you use the customer touch button?
I haven't tried that
Not that I've
myself. Have
seen.
you?
I just
Tony?
did it. I just did it and it overrided that appointment. So thank you, Michelle.
Yeah,
That's good.
perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
It
took
says,
it
"Do you
off and it
wanna-"
didn't ask me to follow up. So I don't know what customer touch means, but it took it off my
So,
calendar. So
so Mariah, just if you want to know what all those result codes mean, under that script section, if you scroll down, it has all the result codes. I think there's a drop down for result codes and definitions. It will give you all those definitions. So if you're looking for some place to put that lead, that you don't want to see it for a certain period of time, you can look there, or you can look within the results themselves.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Sandra asks, can a sub-agent or assistant assign a task to another sub-agent or assistant within their office?
As long as they are within their own project.
Yes. So Sandra, are you having an issue doing that?
No, I was just, I'm here at Laura's office and that was one of the things they were having issues with. And I knew there was a way around it, but I just couldn't figure it out at that time.
So it's as long as
It-
everyone has the same project.
Yeah, if they're all in
Right.
the same project, so you gotta select your project. So I think I
I think
got that.
that's the admin side of the house, correct, Amy?
Okay.
You just result the code and reassign. There's a result code for reassign.
Oh,
Okay,
to assign it to another person?
Yep.
okay, result code reassign. Okay, got it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's great. And then Michelle says, is there a cheat sheet for the different priority numbers and what they mean? So that's a good question. I think, we can see now what priority level they are or code, but I guess nobody is for sure how many like numbers there are in that sequence, or, if it shows up as a 12 or a 57, like what does that actually mean? Do you have any intel on that, Amy?
I don't. Tony, do you have any? Because I've not seen that.
I know it's
Sorry.
come up. I don't think there's anything that's showing what they actually mean. It just,
Yeah. I don't know either.
I mean, the higher or lower the number, the more important it is. I mean, is the best way to think about it. I mean, I don't know why you would need. I'm thinking about going. I don't know why I would need to know what the numbers mean. It's just higher or lower. It's more important than the other. I mean,
And I think if you're getting into something where you're seeing 50, 57, 60 number priority, it means you've gotten through most of your hot stuff, right?
well,
I mean, I'm thinking
correct.
you don't have single
I
digit.
wouldn't focus on that number. I would focus more on that person in front of you, not the number.
Correct. I mean, yeah. I mean, and once again, if you're putting notes in there and you're understanding why you need to call them and you start seeing the numbers, it's going to start making more sense of, oh, a 50 could be, as example, I'm just throwing out there, a 30-day follow-up compared to a 1 day might be a 7. A lot of it though goes by how you set up your system too. Like I went in and I changed some of my results to be more important than other ones. So when you go into the system, you can make some things more important or less important. So some things that we were using a lot that I didn't really need to follow up with them right away, I made them less important as an example.
I'm not sure if I know how to do that. Is there a video on that, Amy, on
There's
how to adjust your
there is a
priority?
video.
Okay.
Yes.
I will
Yep.
put that into the
It
notes.
is nice to watch that video and do that because what you're gonna like customer care as an example is one of my lowest priorities. As an example, that's one of the first things I did. I learned that one of the trainings, so I went in right away and made that a really low priority because that's what we use the most, and that's an easy way to move them through the funnel.
Explain
I
that
think,
again.
Tony, if you have yours set up, maybe you can show them what you have set up.
Oh man, so now you put me on the spot. I gotta remember how I get into it. Thanks a lot, Amy. I don't even know if I remember how I did it, but I know you have to do it on the admin side. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Why don't you play with it and I'll keep working on these questions. And then
But I know you have to go. So only an admin can do it.
okay. So you or your
You
assistant.
don't have to, Tony. I was
Oh no,
just
you're right. You don't have to. I think I just did it. You're right. Sorry.
So Lauren had a question. Do we know when we'll be able to create our own SMS templates?
I do not have a date on that. We're working through that, but that's in legal. So we're working through those in those discussions for those.
But in progress, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Mariah asks, how does it know that a part B is more important than a regular follow-up if it's just in the notes? So it wouldn't. It wouldn't know that. I mean, it's not reading your notes and figuring it out from there. It's a matter of when you dispositioned or resulted that for a follow-up call. So if you said 1 day follow-up, everything that was a 1 day follow-up is going to be a high priority the next day. If it's a 30-day follow-up, it's going to be a high priority in 30 days. If you did a custom follow-up for a specific date and time, that's probably going to be a very high priority type of item, right? So it's more based on the result code that you used that's going to prioritize it. It's not going to read your notes on that.
So with that, Silas, you know how when people used to go to our website, it would pop up as a new lead? I
Mhm.
have people that are like popping up that either I've never talked to or I have no reason like why they're popping up because I haven't put a note there, I haven't put a follow up. So I'm just really confused. Like, do I actually need to
That's
reach out to these people or
that's
not?
why they're popping up, right? Because if you've not taken any action, so the system doesn't know it's not important to you, right? It thinks that it's an opportunity for you. It doesn't know the difference that you
Even
just
if they're
don't.
like a current client?
Right, because is there there may be an opportunity for you to reach out, see if their current policy is still working for them. It's an opportunity for you to reach back out to them and have that communication.
Yeah.
So
Mariah, a lot of
I
that
would
came over
just
from the old system. That's why. Because
yeah.
Well,
when they came over from the old system, it didn't know what was going on with them, or maybe we didn't close them out, or so it's just saying, hey, we don't know why they're in here because they came over from the old system. We're not showing anything. So I had a ton of those in there that I was just doing like a cold lead or sold or whatever I needed to do. Like a lot of those I was just putting
Just
sold.
need a
So the
result
system knew
then.
they were sold.
And I think in the first couple of days and weeks that you're using it, you're going to have a lot of that stuff that's popping up where you're kind of purging the system and cleaning the system and getting old stuff dispositioned. And then you're hopefully going to get to a state where your queue has very accurate information that it's pulling off of, and what it's serving up is truly something that you've scheduled inside of VanillaSoft, right?
okay. So I'll just go through those then.
Silas, can I add something?
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of these are popping up for me right now, and I'm just using that as an opportunity to start marketing the AEP and OEP. I'm just using the email templates in there, and I'll just shoot out the email, then do like a week follow-up, and then they just keep coming in. And I've actually got a couple people respond to me saying, yeah, I want to talk to you during the open enrollment. I've never even met these people.
Awesome.
That's a good testimony. So Stacy has kind of a long one here. She says, still having a lot of issues around my subagents opening up Connecture to send a retire flow, and then Connecture changing the agent of record, and then it never going back to me, even though I'm opening it up from my VanillaSoft. What am I missing? And then she added to that, she said, or if my subagent originally puts in the info on a new prospect, then she's listed as the agent of record in Connecture, even if the appointment is with me.
That could happen. So it would have to be reassigned to you. If you're having your sub agent do it, she's a licensed agent. So yes, that's going to happen. She's going to have to reassign it to you to have you do that. Or else that's going to continue to happen.
I would also say it's important to understand that a sponsor agent and a sub agent's Connecture and retire flow are not linked to each other, right? So your sub agent can't go into your Connecture because they don't have the credentials to do so and do something in there on your behalf. So if she goes from VanillaSoft, if she takes a client that is assigned to her in VanillaSoft and takes it into her Connecture and sends retire flow, that's her now working that as the agent of record or potential agent of record if a deal is consummated or a sale is made.
Correct.
All right,
So there's,
Silas, I found where to change that at.
all right, let me let you share.
I knew I'd find it.
Hold on a second. Let me figure out where's the sharing tools. Okay, buddy.
I sent you a request.
Oh, there you go. That's better. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Voila. Can you everybody see my screen? See it?
It's coming. There we go.
Perfect. Okay. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to go into your my cadences, which is on the left column.
Cadence. Yeah. Okay.
Cadences, and you're going to go to caller routing rules. So the way I have it set up is, so at the very top, you can pick some different things. So I have my customer care as an example. I have that as a 2-year follow-up. So they're going to sit in my queue for 2 years before my system says, hey, it's been 2 years. You need to get a hold of this person. Okay. You can have it 1 year, you can have it 6 months, you can pick whatever you want. I just did a 2 year because that's what we're using the most to kind of move people out of the way in a way. Because once again, you have to envision it as instead of a room full of people, they're all in line waiting to get on the amusement ride of talking to you. So you need to decipher once again, do you want when you want to talk to people and when you want them coming back into your system to reach out to them. So once again, now, what's going to happen is in 2 years, I'm going to have a lot of these people pulling back up, unless I've met with them in the last 2 years and done something else with them. It's going to, once again, when you do a new result code, it's going to replace the old one. So any of these people that I had for 2 years, if I talk to them in 6 months, a year, 18 months, it's going to erase the 2 years. And then whatever my new result code is, that's going to take over. That's the way we have to envision this. Okay.
You're basically taking the customer care result and making it do what you want it to do. So that
Correct.
you just know in your system that if I hit customer care, it's going to kick it out 2 years and it will pop back up for me in 2 years unless there's some other reason that comes in that I need to talk to them before that or they reach out to me.
Correct. So like if somebody calls me and just has a question and we pull them up in the system, we put some notes in there. Now we do have a note section where we don't have to resolve it, but this is before that happened too. But I also like doing this instead of no action just because I'm working the system, right? I'm working the system. You got to work the system. So I like when we talk to somebody, they just had a quick question, I can throw this in there and I know they're good for now. Now, if they call me and they're having a problem with something, and I go, okay, Tommy, I'm going to get a hold of you next week and follow up with you to make sure we get this taken care of. Now I'm going to put them as a week follow up. Okay. If it's urgent and it might be a day follow up. Once again, it just depends on the situation. But if it's somebody that you really don't need to talk to, I'm just throwing in customer care, throwing a note in there. Hey, talk to Tom on the phone. He just had a quick question about his dental. He said he loves his United Healthcare plan. He never wants to leave it. I have no reason to really follow up with him in the next 2 years. So I'm gonna put in there our conversation we had, boom, kick him out to a 2 year period. So he's not popping back up too early.
Yeah, Tony, I just want to point out something because I had this happen with another agent. Please know that in the beginning of that, the rule, it is either for up to however many days or up to a number of contacts.
Right.
Please don't put in two things there. So I've had
Right.
someone put in up to 30 days and one contact. That's not going to do anything. It's going to get rid of them after one contact. So that's an either or. So you want to make sure you read that first part closely in the rule before you save it and implement it so that you don't have it not doing anything for you.
So
Because
don't
you
fill in
want it
both
to
boxes,
continue
otherwise
to
the
work.
system's gonna fight itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
So
just
we've got a few more questions here that I just want to get through. We've got about 5 minutes left. So Troy says, I'm not able to open Connecture through VanillaSoft for certain clients. Any thoughts? I'll just say that it wasn't working for me yesterday. I sent it to Amy. I think some sort of a fix got implemented and then it started working for me. So is that what you believe to be true, Amy?
Correct.
Okay. So Troy, if it's not working, I would say get a screenshot of it and send it to Amy, but that should have been resolved yesterday. I don't know if you tried it today or not.
I have. I'll send a screenshot. It's still not working. And
Okay.
it's not
Okay,
everybody.
just
Certain
send
people
it
I can, certain I can't.
Just send me samples and
Okay.
send me one that's working, one that's not, and so they can see what the difference is. Figure that out. Thanks.
And then Mariah says, how do we mark a customer as deceased?
I thought there was a result code for that. There is.
Thought there was too.
There is a deceased code.
Yeah.
I wonder if
So you're
that,
just
I'll have to look at that because I just wonder if that there's multiple people in the like in the record, the house.
No, it's only going to do the person that you marked deceased.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
You're
just did
thinking of the
that
old
last
system,
week.
Silas.
Yeah,
That's the old system.
Okay.
yeah. I just did that last week and marked somebody deceased, and it was just for that individual. The primary is still there.
that way you're still able to reach out to those other household contacts if you need to.
Right.
I did Silas Holtz here. I did that and it wiped everybody out. And so I just put the one person back in, but it did wipe everybody out because
So
she was the primary. And so the secondary husband got kicked out.
It's
So
because you had them as a secondary.
I think you gotta go in and change the primary before you do it. Does that make
That's a
sense
good-
to everybody?
Holtzy, you just need to click on the person's name in the contacts. It'll pull up that person's record, and then you can do a result code on that one person.
Okay,
Correct.
go to the
From
bottom where it says
primary,
the
it's gonna take
contact.
out yeah,
Okay,
if you do it from the primary, it's gonna take out the primary. You've gotta
Yep.
go to the person that you want to deal with, and
okay, great. Thank you.
yep.
So Christy asked, when will the retry at code work again? Amy,
I
that not-
know that's your thing as well. So we're trying to get that put in. There were some guardrails. I don't know if that went in last night. I'll check on a date for you, Silas, and let you know.
Okay. And then Michelle says, I get prompts with reason codes, web leads on current customers. I get Mariah's hesitancy to reach out if there's no need. Personally, I'm just sending a text stating I'm here when you need me with my contact information and Calendly link. So, okay, that'd be a good way to clean up stuff so you don't know what's going on with it. Stacy said she's not seeing a result code of reassign. Is it some other type of code?
Hold, please. I don't believe so. I believe it's reassigned. I'll have to look at that and let you know, but I'm pretty sure it's reassigned.
Okay. I'll try to look at that too and see what I can see on the, I just don't have it in front of
The
me.
other way to reassign too is to go to that contacts, the contact owner, and edit that and put in the person you want it to be in
Okay,
there.
just from the drop down. You can pick somebody else in the drop down as far as
Right.
the
That's
Okay.
what we're doing. That's what we're doing on our end. If we need to reassign it like to another sub agent, we're going in the admin side and we're putting it under that contact's name for that person. So then they have access to everything.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
You can do it from the caller side as well, Tony.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't have admin access, you can do it from the caller side as well.
Okay. So Michelle
I
asked,
think
sorry, go ahead.
the only way you can reassign it from the result codes is that custom follow-up, which is the retry at result that they're working on.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I knew there
you're
was a
fine.
way.
Okay. We'll get an answer on that.
Wait,
So-
what? Say that again, please.
Customer follow-up. So you want to hit customer follow-up and it's going to give you a drop down for who's following up with them.
Great. It's not working right now, but they're working on it.
Right, because they needed to put guardrails in place so it was only people within your project.
Correct.
I think that's how it was functioning, but okay.
Yeah.
So Michelle says there's no standard reason code action. Every agent can use each code, i.e. customer care, to mean something unique to their own business. So I think so. I think you can change
Correct.
one of these result codes to be what you wanted it to be. Right, Amy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the point, is to make the system work for you. So it just depends on how you're going to work your business and how you want to see the leads generate into your queue.
Cheryl asked, can we update household address without having to do each member separately? Is there a capability for that? I don't even know.
I've never had that question, so I'm not positive. I don't know if you can just do it in one place or if you have to do it in all. I'd have to play with that myself. Sorry, I haven't done that.
Okay.
Yeah, it just leaves a lot of room for error, Silas. Because if I've got a family of 6, right now I have to update every address separately.
Yeah, and the county isn't showing.
Right.
I thought the county deal was fixed, Amy. Is that?
I didn't know any differently, so I haven't heard any differently to that. So if you have an example, please send that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it's showing the county in mine. I'm looking at it right now.
So if you go in, Tony, if you're in the lead and it's saying Osceola, which has County, Elkhart, and St. Joe, it's not carrying over into Quote Connect like it used to.
Oh, so you're saying the county is not carrying over to Quote Connect?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't show county showing up in my lead.
So that I don't know.
Because if that's the case, because there's a lot of places that have 2 counties.
Right. Well, I will tell you though, even with the old system, a lot of times the county didn't go over right.
I agree. It's just something that if it's an easy fix would be awesome. Because otherwise
so
you
I
have
think
to
it's a
pull
Quote
paperwork.
Connect issue, not a VanillaSoft
It's
issue.
not a VanillaSoft issue.
That's a Quote Connect issue, Cheryl.
And then Connecture also?
Yeah. Those are
Right.
separate, right?
Well, I realize that, but it wouldn't carry over. That's weird. Okay, thanks.
Kevin says, just a thought, perhaps the solution is for each agency, for example, the JARCO agency, own the client files, and assigned agents have access to those permitted, maybe a master agent code for each agency. I think that's kind of what we have with our projects.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Exactly what we have.
Carrie said, I tried to merge contacts last evening to clean things up, and I keep getting an error code. Sent Tony a picture of error code I was getting last evening. Thoughts? So have you heard anything about error codes on merging?
So yeah, this is something I was going to talk to you about at our 1 o'clock today, Amy. Have you had issues where people are trying to merge contacts and it's giving them an error code?
No, so we can talk about that and take a look
I was
at
going to talk
it.
about that today. That was on my list.
Okay.
Perfect.
Michelle complimented Cav on a sweet sweatshirt, which I think is a Chairman's Club sweatshirt. So look good today, Cav. Michelle says, I have to leave, but we really need to unblock the ability to add an application that has been completed in an exterior carrier site into the system. It appears that the function fields are available, but they're grayed out and cannot be populated. So
it will populate once the sale is complete. So once you're paid on it, it will show in your VanillaSoft.
Okay. So
if you add one before that, it's going to create a duplicate.
Okay. Okay. So we don't want to add. So when something is sold inside of our reporting and enrollment platforms, Quote Connect, Health Sherpa, or Connecture, that's automatically feeding over into the appropriate application spots.
Correct.
If we're doing it on an outside, like a carrier website, then we just need to wait for that carrier feed to come in with the commissions, and then it'll populate in for us. So we want to manually notate that anyway. Is that correct?
No, if you add in a policy, which you can't do at this point, it would create a duplicate.
Okay.
Good to know.
We might want to put a note in there or something with a follow-up just to make sure that it does eventually hit the system.
Right. You could put a note or a comment in there and have a, disposition that leads so it comes back to you.
So Stacy says, when I go to change the owner back to me under my admin, I'm still listed as the owner, even though when I open up Connecture on that client, it says sub-agent is agent of record.
When she says agent of record means that they own the policy. I think, is that what you're talking about, Stace? I'm confused.
No, if you open up Connecture, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little picture of you and it says agent of record. So when you do a policy, like you do an application through Connecture, it's listing you as the agent of record, right? Well, I go in and now Toya is listed as agent of record and I can't change that anymore. That client's listed. I am the owner on the client under admin. So what do I do now?
That sounds like a Connecture issue.
Sounds to me like Toya, your sub-agent, went out from VanillaSoft and pulled one of your clients into her.
Correct.
So I think what you would need to do is you need to go back to VanillaSoft, change the owner on that record back to you, and then pull that
No,
client.
I am. That's my point. Under admin, I'm still listed as the owner.
Okay, she just went through the wrong system to put her in connector. She needs to go through your system, not her system.
Or you need to go through your system, not her system.
Or, well, yeah, you need to go through your
Right.
system. If
Okay,
she
so
goes
in
through
other
her
words,
system,
if she's answering phones and a new person calls, she can't, if it's somebody that's referred to me, she can't put the initial information in at all. That's what you're saying.
not through her system, because it's thinking that she's writing the business on it.
Well, she can't get into my system. I mean, she'd have to have my username and password, and that's not.
Correct.
Right.
So
Okay, just
unfortunately,
want to be clear. All right.
yeah,
This is
there's
the
no
obstacle.
workaround
This
for
is
it
the
yet.
obstacle with sub-agents right now, and I would say it is something we need to figure out. But right now, because of credentials and CMS regulations and federal and state laws, if your sub-agent is working with a client, they're working with them inside of their Connecture instance. They're becoming the agent of record if they write a policy. Anything they're doing, it has to be in alignment with them being the agent on that. If it's your client and you don't want her to take over the agent of record, then you need to work with that client. I'm navigating that too.
Okay, just want to be clear. That's it.
Lauren Christie said there's also an error when trying to use the voicemail drop. Did you have notice about errors on the voicemail drop, Amy, at all?
Yes, so that is something that we are currently working. There is an issue. We've had examples of people who are leaving voicemail drops and the voicemail drop isn't accurately leaving the correct message. So we are looking into that and working on that to be fixed.
Okay. Cheryl said, did we get any answer on address updating for household? We're looking into that. We don't have an answer right now. Troy Gill said, Amy, that your email bounced back. Is it amy.swanson@healthmarkets.com or hmkts.com?
hmkts.com.
Okay, yep.
amy.swanson@hmkts.com.
Correct.
And Cheryl says she doesn't see county on any of her clients. She says it shows, but you have to search for it. So
I would also make sure that when you're working your contacts that you have that 1.3 routing filter in. That may help with that as well.
Amy, is there any way of showing the county on that initial profile, on the top left?
I'll ask. That's a suggestion, but I don't know that to be true. So
Yeah,
I'd
and preferred name. Yeah, those two would be great.
Yeah. So with my system, you have to go to additional addresses to see the county.
And I hate to cut things off, but we're 10 minutes over and I've got to be somewhere 35 minutes away in 20 minutes. So late.
No worries.
But I appreciate Tony. Thank you for being here. Amy, thank you very much. I know you're getting beat up every single day. I'm sure you are. You're bruised and battered, but I just want you to know we appreciate the responsiveness. We appreciate you working on our behalf. We'll continue to send things your way, work with Tony. And then we're going to talk a little bit more on Friday, guys, at our territory meeting. Tony's going to have some additional updates on things too. Tony, I'm going to send you the list of questions from today just so you have them in a really rough format for your 1 o'clock. And if anybody needs anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. Good seeing y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.